Greetings, YouTube. I don't know where you are, but today it's 54 degrees out and it's been raining since Sunday. I'm not a big lover of the sun, folks, but I really like to see it again. Today I'm going to review Flags of Our Fathers by James Bradley with Ron Powers. Now, James Bradley is the son of John Bradley, and John Bradley is one of the 6 men in that picture right there. This picture was taken in 1945 on top of Mount Suribachi on the island of Iwo Jima. It was 6 men raising the U.S. flag over the mountain, claiming the fact that they had just taken it from the Japanese. Now, the battle wasn't over when this flag was raised. The battle actually dragged on for another 20 days, I think it was. Actually, it may have been more than that. The battle was 36 days entirely. And in that time, we lost 7,000 dead and had over 20,000 wounded. It's one of the worst battles in the entire history of the United States, and the worst for the Marines ever. I believe 27 Medals of Honor were awarded for that battle alone. Now, the book covers the men who raised that flag, and that's the gist of the story. It does cover the Battle of Iwo Jima, but it covers from the point of view of these 6 men. It covers their early lives. It covers from birth up to the battle, and then them from forward. The book was written after John Bradley had passed away, and his son James Bradley found boxes in storage that his father had kept hidden from the family. Not only did they keep boxes of information about the war hidden from him, but he actually kept hidden from his family that he won the Navy Cross. And the Navy Cross is the second highest Medal of Honor there is in the military. It's right below the Medal of Honor itself. It's an amazing feat. They don't give out Navy Crosses very often. And he won one, and he told nobody. He didn't want to ever speak about what happened to him. And it's a fascinating story. These men were interesting. Their lives were flesh and blood. They joined the military for different reasons. You have to remember that the Marines were an all-volunteer organization. And that was unheard of at the time. People were being drafted into other branches of the military. People were volunteering, of course, but the Marines were all volunteer. And they were a really new concept in the style of warfare that they had been practicing in, which was amphibious assault. That is something that had not really been tried prior to World War II. It was considered actually by some military experts to be impossible. This was a fascinating book. It really got into the lives of these men. Now, what I found really interesting was that one of them, Rainey Gagne, lived right here, was born and raised in Manchester, New Hampshire, and I knew nothing about this. That's probably because the history courses I took in high school only went up to the American Revolution. We didn't even cover the Civil War. It was depressing how poor our history coverage was in the schools I went to. It was just abysmal. The funny thing is, history is my favorite topic. And I've read the other book that James Bradley wrote, which was Flyboys, which dealt with the air campaign against the Japanese during World War II. And he's a little more polished in that. He's a little more raw in this, his first endeavor. But it's closer to home. He's writing about his father, a man he loved, a man that in many ways was a mystery to him. There has been a film done based on this book, directed by Clint Eastwood. I have a copy. I have not watched it yet. I wanted to read the book first before I watched it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that maybe this weekend if I get a chance. But this book also brought to mind for me my continued love-hate relationship with the Japanese culture. I find so much of what the Japanese are, their history, who they are, how they do things, fascinating. And they have been capable of some of the most horrendous atrocities we have seen in modern times on a national scale. It's horrifying. And I have a difficult time reconciling these two things. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with it yet. But if you like information about World War II, about military history, about wanting to know about the men behind an iconic image, an image that has come to represent not just the war, but the Marines, and in many ways our involvement in the war. So this is a very important picture. It's become known as the photograph. That's the only title you need to use. The largest bronze statue ever made was built based on this picture. So if you like history and you like information about World War II, I really highly recommend this book. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I was flipping the pages, man. I really wanted to get through this book. I didn't want to put it down. So again, highly recommended.